You guys like that little tune? Hey, Magic, Eve, Freedoms, Lunch. That little tune you just heard, that's like me and Nolan Watson. We like he did it, and then I said, no, do this, and then he did it again, and that's our new theme song. You can enjoy it again. I'm gonna provide visuals at some point, but for now, just enjoy the tune. I'll get the dice ready. Aileen, Magic, Joe. Okay, wow. Woo, all these people. Like I'm almost famous. Here. Here's part one. There's two things I promised in the description. Third wave red pill. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you. There's two things we're gonna go over today. One is the hermeneutic suspicion one, and I'll just get into the other one. Okay.
So long as we're relativists. And incidentally, I don't know if you'll agree with me, John, but this seems to be connected with another modern problem. I remember when I came to this country as a young boy, one of the first things that startled me, and I found it very difficult to accept, is the lack of respect. I came from the old Austria where respect is sort of a completely natural thing in life. And when I came to this country, I found it was not natural, and everybody was somehow valued his own opinions as equally valid with, with anybody else's. And so I do feel that one of our problems, which leads to this relativist Weltanschauung, is that we are, as it were, trained to be disrespectful.
I mean, okay. To your point, my good Wolfgang. Everybody, let's. All right, first, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have played that without doing the savings throws. Here on the Griswold Grimm live stream of Virtually Not Alone Network, Jacob event. We do savings throws versus the mind control that you swim in all the time and also are about to be exposed to, where the savings throw will reduce the damage, the impact the mind control has on your function if it's over 10. You choose from one of four options on which to base the basis of your savings throw is either survival, social, wisdom, or heart. You choose one of those four. I roll these dice. Survivalists, 5. Socialists, 19. Lovers of wisdom on 11s, you get an 11. And hard folks, an 8. Remember, if you comment on a live stream, you get a +3 bonus to the next savings throw roll of your choice. Okay, so there's. Okay, back to this.
And I think this is a very important, that we are, as it were, trained to be disrespectful.
Mm.
And I think this is a very important fact that enters the problem whether we like it or not.
Dadgummit. Hold on. Dadgummit.
I want to...
Not yet. Oh,
That one of our problems, which leads to this relativist Weltanschauung.
There it is. God dang it. This is the disrespectful part I wanted to do. Everybody here, we have to practice saying this. Let's do it. The keyboard is way over here. It's really inconvenient. Oh, sorry.
I do feel that one of our problems, which leads to this relativist Weltanschauung.
There we go, everybody. That's the phrase. Relativist Weltanschauung. Say it, 1, 2, 3. Relativist Weltanschauung. All right, one more time. Let's see. You do it one more time, and then we'll all do it. And then we'll listen to the rest of your sentence. Okay.
Valid with, with anybody else's. And so I do feel that one of our problems, which leads to this relativist Weltanschauung.
All right, everybody, out loud, where you're at. 1, 2. Relativist Weltanschauung.
Is that we are, as it were, trained to be disrespectful.
Mm.
And I think this is a very important fact that enters the problem whether we like it or not.
I want to comment on both of those things. The first is, I think the relativism was exacerbated significantly by the
Exacerbated means made worse.
Cartesian bifurcation. I do think you do.
Bifurcation means splitting in twos.
You see proposals of relativism in the pre-Cartesian world, Protagoras being one of my primary examples. But I do think it is true that the elevation of subjectivity to be half of ontology, as Graham Harman talks about it, has been very problematic for us.
All right, he goes on to pitch how great Dialogos is, and then...
and for me, this is a way of making current, I think, some of the key insights of the Platonic argument. He uses as an example Kant, who gives us a kind of framework that really licenses this in certain ways. Although Kant has universals, we don't have access.
Kant and his stupid universals.
To the world, and then the neo-Kantians come in and say, but those universals are not universal, they're culturally bound and they're historical, and then you get an argument for relativism.
Pesky neo-Kantians.
And Clark points out that Kant never actually ever gave an argument for...
You know, he never gave an argument for fairies either, John. Oh. Relativist Weltanschauung. Not relativist Weltanschauung. That's wrong. That's there's respect, there's lack of respect, there's disrespect, and then there's insult. Right? It's like it's a spectrum, just like your dad. It's autism. Remember, everybody, we want what's best for you. Lobstamonkee goose, now available on a hoodie.
The possibility of understanding other human beings. This is how is it that you, and this is a Platonic argument, how is it that you and I communicate? And let's remember, there's two things going here. We not only have to be able to share meaning, there's a normative aspect to this, right? And we
you know, there's something about the way we share meaning that makes me a little more like Norm, that guy from Cheers. He was a post office guy. He drank some beers. Freedom! Jay, good to see you. It's spelled Welt. Oh, you did spell it right. And it is German for worldview. Yes, Jay. Jay wins. Jay, I'm going to give you +2 to next live stream social savings throw for sharing with the hive mind. And then Freedom goes and cut and paste from a dictionary. There's no way he typed that. There's no way. You're a bell. The hoodie does look cool. What explained the bell curve there, Lynn? What? Yes, Goose is on a hoodie. Look. It looks like this. It's terribly expensive. Now, we're going to make t-shirts for people who don't want to be very, very supportive and stylish. But there is a discount code available if you're on the Discord. I'm going to put it in the pillar chamber later today, and anybody else that wants it can message me for it. But that's what it looks like. It's got the little guy on the front and the little guy on the back, and I'm thrilled with it. I think it's fabulous. On the no, I had to go out into the field, which, if you're following me on the SoundCloud, you got my special report on that. And since I had to go out into the field, even though Gavin scored some bonus points by going through the chat and getting all the names, I still have to make a poll somewhere. I'm gonna see if I can do it on this channel's community tab. You've been there, I'm sure. And if I do, once it's set up, I'll put a link in the Discord and also stream about it or something. We will name our good friend that starts with an R. Lobstamonkee or Rudy? Ralph? Rojo? We don't know. There's a list. There's a vote. And I don't know. I think let's not project in the future. Let's get back to work. Oh.
We have to share both of the possibility of being wrong in a way that the other person can point out. I mean, this is part of Wittgenstein's argument why there's no private language. Because if you had a private language, there's no way you can be right or wrong, because you can't be corrected in any fashion.
Speaking of which, what the hell happened to someone's wrong on the internet? We can't correct each other anymore. We can't say someone's wrong on the internet, this is what's right. We have to go, Daddy, they're spreading misinformation.
And it doesn't make any sense. And then if you really seriously think that language is an illusion for you, think of how much of your cognition and your science and your rationality become illusory. And then if you commit to it, you're committed to the fact that interpersonal dialogue is especially privileged at disclosing the fact that there are minds other than yours, and they can make meaning other than your current meaning making, and those two meaning makings can come into important contact and confluence. So I think your notion of respect, if you put together both communication and normativity, which I think is what is bound in respect, I think it's bang on, because, right?
I think it's bang on. So see, the important thing he said, he had that whole spiel, right? And then he said at the end, communication and normativity, which I think are bound in respect. And that's the important bit, is that respect is what binds the communication and the normativity to allow for our brains to touch the way they do in the narrative space. Or in the dialectic space. Like, the narrative space is a little different, but I talked about it with Paul in Sevilla. I'm sure you saw that one and commented, right? A neutered Herman is suspicious, and that's So I do want to address this also respect thing. Here's I think if it comes up right, here's what we lost in the fire. Keyboard's way over there. Hey. Shh. Over here. Hey. No, it's not this one. God. Alright, so it's one of these ones, but I don't know which one. Come on.
I'm almost to the land. Steady for a bit. Now, for me. Got him. Nice. Fuck. Some what would the early
But Pilgrim, you caused a lot of you.
All right, old team.
Get the hell off my spread. Now, we'll all calm down.
Boss, he's just a little excited.
I know. I'm gonna use good judgment. I haven't lost my temper in 40 years. But Pilgrim, you caused a lot of trouble this morning. Might have got somebody killed. And somebody ought to belt you in the mouth. But I won't. The hell I won't.
Nobody.
There, that, ladies and gentlemen, is what was lost in the fire. That's not the clip I was actually looking for. But it's close enough. Alright, say we're at some fancy dinner in some fancy New York restaurant and you're with, I don't know, say you got lucky and, you pulled Cyndi Lauper out of the nursing home and she took you out to dinner in New York. And I stand up at the table and and I start talking a bunch of shh. Like, if you punch me in the mouth, like I deserve, clearly, I get to take everything you own for the assault and the pain and the suffering. And so we've lost that. And with that, it's men have lost the ability to enforce respect. And so as a result, there's nothing maintaining. Respect. Raquel, Marty, what have you guys been talking about? I have internal dialogue that invites self-critique and leads to new understanding. I've installed a critical asshole in my head, but he teaches me things about myself all the time. Appeals to authority are the worst. I am wrong, and I should correct. Expand the fist and patrol? What's expand the fist and patrol? Oh!
Hey there, I'm Chad the Alcoholic, and the creator of the Friday Morning Nameless channel. I'd like to welcome you to join us for the latest and greatest and most up-to-date information about all the things happening in this corner of the internet. I want to thank you for your time and your attention.
Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal of production executives that make the Griswold Grimm YouTube stream and all his endeavors possible. Remember, lobstamonkee, goose. Remember, everybody, there is no agency. Oh yeah, that was the commercial. Hey, if you have a YouTube channel and you make a commercial, I'll probably run it. Chad. Time after time. 0 mechanisms for self-correction in groups. I don't know, Third Wave. Didn't you not watch my Estuary Camelot discussion where we discussed the fact that having the estuarily be the fourth potential topic makes for a self-correcting group? Or because, like, in groups is how we do reality testing. You guys let me know when I say crazy things. I know it. What's the clip you were looking for, Palpable? Oh, anyway, the clip I was looking for is this one where he's talking to a lady, and there's a guy being a dick. But it might be the next one. Let's check, just because it's John Wayne, right?
There'll be no locks or bolts between us, Mary Kate, except those in your own mercenary little heart. You hurt?
It wasn't that one.
Like, it doesn't make in, like, this is what I try to convey to people. if you really go down the relativism route, you have to give up. Like, you end up with an absolute kind of skepticism and solipsism, and you have no way of providing any kind of normative guide. Well, I'll just do what I want. Well, how do you know if what you're doing is what you want is succeeding, right? I mean, like there's just, or if you're getting it wrong, like, so I think the position that you've stated is, I think we can also take it back to Descartes in this fashion. With Descartes, it starts earlier, but with Descartes, you get the preponderance of an idea of monologic reason taking priority over dialogical reason. And I think that is also a part of this problematic that you put your finger on. But I hope you're okay with, I've tried to expand your notion of respect. And I think that this is how it dovetails with the point you've been making about how it contributes to relativism.
So deep ideas you're proposing. I do feel that respect is a kind of sine qua non for...
Like, I'm supposed to respect some guy just because he knows what sine qua non means? Sine qua non. Okay, I got a +5 to next live stream savings throw. For whoever can tell me what sine qua non means. Because you have my respect and 5 bonus points.
For all else. In other words, we are, as a civilization, we've been, as it were, in the business of creating skeptics and creating critics, creating people who like to take a negative view of the consensus. So we've been emphasizing those aspects that lead to relativism. And I think this is very dangerous, and I think it's counterproductive. I think in order to find truth, one needs to start with certain...
Jay, you get a +3 to the survival savings throw for spelling it wrong first.
Sane human attitudes, and certainly a part of that is respect. And this almost universal disrespect that our culture and our schools are promoting is a very, very dangerous thing, because I think we're destroying something that is
He sees it, sort of. He sort of sees it. I'm a spoiler alert. Okay, if you don't want a spoiler, go walk in the other room or mute me real quick. Welcome. Neutered Herman is suspicious. Poor neutered Herman. He's so suspicious. Okay, so the spoiler alert. The spoiler alert is for what's going to happen here. Is first they're going to say that, like, this neutered Herman is the, like, source of the disrespect and the problem. But the problem is these mother aren't suspicious enough.
absolutely essential for human welfare, both in an intellectual sense of being able to arrive at truth, and also in a practical sense of living our life in a harmonious way.
Wolfgang, could we take that?
According to the Hive Mind, for those of you just listening, the Hive Mind chat is the live stream chat that shows up on the YouTube channel, which you can participate and join with if you're not just listening. And since I don't rip this to podcast, you're probably not just listening. But Joseph, Ward comes in with sine qua non, without which not. Palpable things that specialization has contributed to relativism. Without which not. Like prerequisite, like you can't do it without having it first. Sine qua non. I don't. It's an essential part of the sin. Lunch says, the sinner can yet buy apples from the saint so long as both offer patterns of respect to one another in that particular value exchange. Are you trying to suggest that respect is a contextual tool for efficacy? Magic wants a tie. Although I would have no idea that she was referencing sine qua non, whatever, because she just said, oh no, without which not. So I think Joseph should get the points. Plus you got a wrench, Magic. And see, the thing is, Rakau said, see, the thing is, and, what? Yes, Herman is, how do you fix what, Frag? What's broken, Frag? Frag, what's broken? I've been feeling lots and lots of self-loathing as of late. Like in ways I probably can't talk about, but I need this. Here, okay, all right, we're going to do a special savings throw against Frag's self-loathing. Frag, my personal recommendation to you is to just spend the day in Walmart. Just go to Walmart and walk around and look around. And I think maybe you'll be like, I'm doing all right. I'm an all right guy. But in case not, or in case someone else in the audience is having issues with self-loathing, here, you get to, same as with mind control. You can base your save on survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose! Oh no, the heart one has abandoned ship to the floor. Did you change your blood pressure medicine, Frag? Survival with a 2. Social with a 7. Sophist with 11 again. And heart's a 3, but it's like way down there. I gotta get it later. Let me think about it a minute.
That idea of respect and bring it down one level and say that starts with humility and that's what we're really missing.
Well, I don't know, Karen, what it really starts with. For example, you might say that it starts with the child respecting his parents. And
who? How Jesus is supposed to help me with the... Wow, guys. Holy... This is the Grim Grizz live stream. Woo! Nerd Human is suspicious. And I'm getting self-loathing, and how do I... Okay, first of all, Rakau, from whence do you get the axiomatic presupposition that you're just supposed to go to work every day until you die? Like, are you a lady? Because if you're a lady, you shouldn't be going to work at all. They just turned you into taxpayers to destroy the shadow matriarchy to make it so we couldn't raise proper humans anymore. And so they could, they have to turn to the school to be raised, and that devalues the respect in the parent-child relationship. Like, the damage VCRs did to intergenerational goodwill is astounding. Also, here's this I wanted to talk about, but I haven't even gone off on Herman being suspicious yet. But here's another thing.
Everyone in this little corner keeps dancing around, namely, what exactly is the future that we're supposed to be building towards anyway? Is this not the central question? Now, I take this to be not just what is the future of this little channel. This little channel isn't this little corner isn't intended to be the be-all, end-all of everything. This little corner of the internet is just what it is right now, which is a group of people who are working on something together. Friendships have developed. We're trying to do some things. I think different people in this little corner have different agendas and different goals. John Vervaeke, for example, is working on a religion that's not a religion. Jonathan Peugeot and I are both Christians, Orthodox.
Grim Grizz is building an army of lobster monkeys to aid in this new era of distributed cognition and hive mind cells. And okay, so I got the self-loathing thing down. Here we go. You ready? Self-loathing. Each piece of load is like a leaf falling from the tree. A little dead thing you don't need anymore. And if you're sitting there in a pile of leaves, it's going to be heavy and damp. But that lady over there might need help with her groceries. Or that cat might be stuck up that tree. So brush yourself off and go help somebody else. 'Cause you can't feel sorry for yourself when you're in service to someone else. I don't fucking know, dude. Good luck.
Eschatology, maybe a little, I don't know if it's that much different from Protestant eschatology. Actually, Protestants are so fresh.
So that part, the species level telos, right? Like, while I was growing up, we had the Cold War placeholder. Okay, so it was like the reason we had to do good was so we could be better than them. But now there's no them because the internet showed us it's really just governments being dicks while everybody else is just trying to be a person. And so now it's just like, why are we helping? Where are we going? Like, we're not exploring the ocean because, the aliens down there. And we can't really get to space because the Van Allen belt. And so this whole thing that the conquering everything that had led us to get this far has kind of petered out. Antarctica, but for the giant demon there, right? So what do we do as a species? And this person, it doesn't really do anything for me, but I think one thing we could aim toward is like being the best possible parents to Roy Batty as possible. And if you don't know Roy Batty, it's Tears in the Rain. And I don't want the copyright notification, so I'm not even going to try. Let's see if I can get to Herman being suspicious now. Let's see if I can do it. And then I'll check on you guys in a second. Hold on. Is this it?
An objective truth that we can be getting closer to and aspiring to. And, one of the questions that I wanted to ask John from a follow-up for our last conversation, I've been through the modern science and the complexity science and the idea of Darwinian evolution and emergence, et cetera, and I find all of these things to be ultimately kind of a hand waving that doesn't really answer the question of how do we get out of this, right? How do we agree on a set of truths that can guide us in this, non-measurable world? Let's call it the subjective world. Let's not call it the subjective world. It's what everybody calls a subjective world, res cogitans, right? How do we really get...
Hey there, baby. Will you show me your res cogitans? Can I see him? Just your res cogitans. That's all I want.
Past that and have a North Star that we're moving towards collectively, right? And I just find the answers of, even the cognitive science community, John, because I've been there, ultimately not really an answer at all.
Well, there's 3 or 4 things in that let me respond, Richard. First of all, and I want to tie it into what Karen and Wolfgang were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We've inherited, and this is Ricoeur's notion, but I'm trying to make it more prominent. Nietzsche, Freud, and Marx have given us a hermeneutics of suspicion, which is the idea that the moment of the disclosure of truth is to reveal the unconscious motive, the secret agenda, the power move, etc. And when you can say, aha, see how we were being manipulated or that's the hermeneutics of suspicion. Now, you should have suspicion in your epistemology, in your epistemic toolkit, or you're going to be gullible. But the problem is, and this is a point made by Plato, and I think also beautifully by Merleau-Ponty, and also by Gibson, is you can only say that is an illusion if you can simultaneously say that is real. And because this is real, that's how I know this is an illusion. The hermeneutics of suspicion is always dependent on, parasitic on, our hermeneutics of disclosure, in which appearances are not distorting, when appearances are not distracting, when they are not misleading, but when they're disclosing reality. And I think that is by the way, and this is, I think, something D.C. Schindler would agree with, I think that is the proper presentation of the Platonic notion of beauty. Beauty is the situation in which appearances disclose reality, and that has a priority over any hermeneutics of suspicion. And so I would first put that in. Secondly,
Well, I guess I should see it secondly. Syncretism versus Vervaeke? How does syncretism equal Vervaeke? You think he's cherry picking? Oh, don't worry about it, Frag. I really like that I developed the soggy leaf metaphor. I appreciate your help with that. Hermeneutics. Herman's neutered. The Herman neutered suspicions. Illusion and ignorance. Okay, my chief complaint with his first point is that you need the truth to call out a lie. I mean, if I get that's an illusion. You can have evidence that it was misleading and intentionally misleading, without figuring out what the actual truth was. I think.
The relationship between parent and child is the primordial dialogical relationship. The dialogue actually precedes the child's ability to become aware of their own subjectivity. Children cannot introspect until they're about 4 years of age. If you ask the 3.5-year-old what's going on in their head, they'll say blood. We get our ability to introspect and become metacognitively aware, and therefore realize subjectivity, because we have internalized the perspective of other people, the perspective other people take on us. That's how we gain access to our subjectivity. So the dialogue,
Thanks, Shadow Cabal. That's interesting and important. Like until I had to frame myself based on how I was perceived by others, there was no subjectivity. So subjectivity of self is a communal construct. Construct? Oh my God, that means it means nothing. This I'll let him go.
Biological not only gives us access to reality, it instructs us on how we acquire our subjectivity. That is also why it should be given priority. And I think a dialogical format that is centered on the hermeneutics of beauty is a significant answer to your question, Richard, which is, do I think that cognitive science per se is doing that? No, any more than I think it's doing a lot of other things that are misattributed to science. Do I think it provides us with resources for what you're talking?
I still want to get to Wolfgang's response, but my secret knowledge of talking to aliens. You're welcome. You're welcome. If I put chlorine in the estuary, then it's cured for drinking but poisoned for the fishing. And we'll also beat you up. Because we don't let people mess with the not that kind of messing with the estuary waters, bro.
Talking about, which is not, I think, ultimately knowledge, but a capacity that I would like to rather call wisdom, which is the ability to track, right? I mean, some of the consensus papers, the ability to see through illusion into reality, the ability to zero in on how what's salient and relevant tracks what is real. I think that is what we're talking about. Now, I don't know, and this is where you and I differ, and perhaps...
So, let me talk to you about Herman. Herman woke up neutered, and he was suspicious for the rest of his life. And basically the internet sort of did that to humanity, as I alluded to in the spoiler, or just earlier somewhere. We have this wake-up call. It's like, it starts with Santa Claus, because the first thing is they tell you that even your parents will lie to you. And that makes you suspicious. And then they tell you that your parents are wrong when you're in the school, and that makes you suspicious. And then you grow up watching things like X-Files, and your favorite characters are the conspiracy guys who'd say things like the term conspiracy theorist was invented by the CIA after the JFK assassination. And then they get their own pilot episode, those characters, called The Lone Gunman, in which a plane flies into and then nobody remembers when the plane flies into it. And then there's like, do you even know about Laurel Canyon? Or that Jim Morrison's dad was the guy behind the Gulf of Tonkin, which apparently was a giant psyop? And what is the USS no. So the question is, are these people not suspicious enough? Because it seems to me that we're in this thing called the beast system, where if you're too stupid and I take advantage of you, I get more points because it's your own fault for being stupid. And so, like, being suspicious that they're trying to eat you will save you from being eaten in a lot of different ways. Like the way they call them credit cards, but really they're like, here, I'll let you go into debt to me. That's what credit means. It means you'll let me go into debt. You'll let me bind the working of my future self to you. That's the credit I am to. And so, I don't know. I mean, yes, there's the beauty of the through line that's holding the corrupt institution together, but it's time to get suspicious of the corrupt institutions. And you know this, Vervaeke, because you do shows with Peugeot with the collective intelligence angels. Come on. I do, that's in this anagrams. You know. Okay, so that's why that's there. That's the spiel on Herman being suspicious. And I did say that part earlier about how the species level Telos, other than going Amish again, like let's set up whatever. Other than going Amish again, we could try to be good parents to the AI machine hybrid things we're building, like the Roy Baddies of the world. We could be good parents and teach them values since they're going to live forever and not be meaty meat sacks that die. And like that, I don't know, that's a life goal other than conquering the oceans or... Hold on. All right, let me check in with the hive mind. What do we got? Oh, Magic and Lynn have secret knowledge. I'm sure I missed what it was, but I'm sure you got it. It's way better to tell truths that people wish were lies. It's ridiculous. It's hard for me to take Christians seriously on the notion that they're waiting for Jesus to come back when they're not freaking out about them turning off those truckers' money for not taking a thing. Because that makes those truckers not able to buy and sell for not taking a thing. How are you guys not freaking out about it? Why are they still like mandating your kids? Random strange. Yes, that is a great plan, Marty. And the post office would appreciate it. No, third wave. I absolutely was not. How could you say such a thing? That's very suspicious of you. It's all just wag the dog. Wag the suspicious dog, baby. Yes, I want to bring back right. You guys ever seen the movie Postman? I was thinking earlier I could do like this, like all the fancy intellectual people do like a book recommendations. I could do like a movie playlist of how to break your brain like Grimm. Anyway, Herman is suspicious because he woke up neutered the same way